This is the 40th, oh, whoops, the 40th attempt I've made at recording this because everything goes awry. Because my life hates me, and I was gonna happily talk about booktok books, but now I'm angry and wish to talk about the state of the universe as a whole. Oh my Jesus, my dog! Okay, you know what? It doesn't matter. I can't hear my game. And you know what? I've just accepted that. Oh, I can hear my game. That's all. Can you hear my dog? Listen to this bitch. Okay, are you done? He's not done! You're not done! This is so chaotic. I'm playing a stupid horse game while I talk because I have no other games to play. Um, so uh, that's. Yeah, oh, that's not how this works. I have 12 seconds. The state of booktok is a mess. It is an incredible mess. It makes me hate when reading. It makes me miss pardon when reading was like a nerd activity because I didn't have to get recommended books that I think are going to be good that are actually just straight smut. Okay, not straight smut. I'm just still angry and recoiling from the love hypothesis because I thought it was going to be a wholesome nerdy book and it turned out it was just porn. Not actually. It was like two chapters plus the that little you know, and the bonus chapters. And that made me really angry. And that's the whole reason I'm doing this is to vent how pissed I am at how badly the love hypothesis let me down, which is tremendously. And this is nothing to say on, what is it, Ali Hazelwood as a writer. It's obviously, it's a popularity thing. The entirety of booktok is about who can produce the smuttiest shit with a good build up with it's a popularity contest, that's the word. You know, who can sell the most by publishing the smuttiest book. And, you know, it had a good build up. It was like, will they, won't they? And then they did. And I hated when they did. It was detrimental to my well being. Ooh, I love the slow gameplay. Perhaps if I turn off no, I must do it for the aesthetic. Um, it's just. I've also read It Ends With Us, and that was a clusterfuck. Let me tell you, It Ends With Us. Colleen Hoover is a questionable writer. Though, have I read all her books? No. Am I going to? Most fucking certainly not. But from what I've seen, what I've read, she's a questionable writer because it's all about who can give who in Colleen Hoover's books of the abusers is the worst. Ryle, Ryle, gaslight gatekeeper, not so much of a girl boss. Oh, that's a jump. Okay. He is not a girl boss. He's just a gaslight gatekeeping motherfucker. And he makes me so angry. And Colleen Hoover did Lily so dirty by, you know, making her forgive fucking Ryle. Like, she deserved better than that. And that's just something I don't like Lily as a protagonist whatsoever. But forgiving abusers, whoever writes her story, oh wait, Colleen Hoover does, did her very wrong. And, you know, Lily had a really shitty dad and she refused to forgive him. You know, that was her whole thing in the book. It's, we're not going to continue this cycle because my dad sucks and you don't suck as bad, but, you know, my mom sucks for letting him stay and forgiving him. And then she forgave him and let him stay and had a child. Why is my graphics worse? And all my frames. This calls for arson. And, you know, she just kind of sat there and just let it slide. You know, you can stay in our daughter's life. No, Cut that bastard loose. Cut him loose. Don't keep the child. Can I say that? Is that too controversial? If I were in her opinion, and this is what all of us say, you know, this is what every person says when they read, it's I would have done XYZ, but yeah, that's just personally how I would have hopefully done it should I have been in her situation. Obviously, I wouldn't know because I'm not. But if I were to be, you know what I'm doing. I'm dropping him. Lily had so much room for really good growth and development as a character, I think, and she got done dirty. I'm gonna put it straight. She got done horrifically dirty because I had hopes that everyone around her would be like, hey, hey, drop that bastard. And then we forgave him because I have a traumatic past. Where? We all have traumatic pasts, Ryle. Thank you very much. You're not quirky. What? 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 We we all have traumatic pasts, Ryle. You're not different and you're not like other girls. Just because you're your dad sucks too. Like, all of us nowadays have daddy issues. Not actually. It's like that stupid audio. You must have dad issues. I don't. I fucking love my dad. That. So, yeah, not everyone has daddy issues, but I would happily like to talk to one person who doesn't have some kind of parental or family issues. Please, if you do, tell me. Tell me, and I will publicly apologize. Not that you know who I am, and not that I care, but good for you if you have a healthy family. I say this, I love my family very much. It's just crazy to me that Lily's supposed fucking best friend was like, please forgive my brother, he's traumatized. Like, no. No, Lily would have told you to dump your Marshall, whatever his name is. I'm gonna call him Marshall. If you're Lily's best friend, whatever her name is, her boyfriend's name, husband's name is now Marshall. Okay? I don't make the rules. It could very well be his name, and I am an absolute genius. But oh my god, the frames! But yeah, he sucked. Why did she just let him do that and excuse his shitty fucking behavior? That doesn't cut it for me. That's our fake best friend. And then only when she realized how badly he fucked up, she was like, actually, my brother sucks. But I'm not gonna cross him off because blood is blood. No, it's not. Fuck blood. Your family is the family you choose to have. And if you so outrightly just ignore Lily's well being because he's your brother, then you're a shit best friend. You are a shitty human. Blood is not thicker than water. I don't give a shit, you know? If you love your best friend as deeply as you say you do, you'd be like, my brother fucked up, fuck him, leave. Not, listen, just like hear him out. Like, no. No one wants to hear out your crummy boyfriend's excuse of why he's a cunt. Yeah, ooh, that's a big word for YouTube. That's a big word. Sorry, YouTube. But it sucks. I don't like Lily. I don't like her in the slightest. I don't particularly like Colleen Hoover's books too, but that's not the point, because Colleen Hoover's kind of just like, yeah, well, abuse is whatevs, forgive your abuser. Don't do that. And also, the weird thing of voting, no one cares. No one cares. Like, you have to vote. You don't have to tell me who. What capitalistic society are we living in? No. Why do we live in a capitalist society? Next rant. But it confuses me, the agendas Colleen Hoover tries to push in her books. The same for Sarah J. Maas. And I used to love ACOTAR, so this comes from a perspective of someone who read them when I was quite young, and now coming forward and having matured, I see the actual issues that lie in the books. And, Rishon sucks. He's kind of, in my opinion, not much better than Tamlin. It's how it is. It's not a Beauty and the Beast retelling, it's who can be the worst boyfriend, Which the answer is all of them. They're all trash. The only redeemable character for me in those books was Cashin and Azriel, and then Akosovitz, A Court of Silver Flames got released, and I haven't read it. I refuse to read 600 pages about how Cashin's a horny fucker. Like that doesn't really float my boat. And I also don't need to read how everyone just decided to not tell Nesta about herself. And when she lashed out, she was very much so in her rights, and they completely glossed over the fact that they did the exact same thing to Feyre, which was, hey, FYI, our kid's gonna kill you, but whatevs? Like, you can't just if you love someone so much, surely you would tell them that shit. Like, it's so beyond me. Not that these books are trying to push any agenda. I mean, for fuck's sakes, they're fantasy worlds, but a lot of young people read those books and they genuinely take them too hard, They think that Cashin's the best boyfriend in the world, and oh my god, he's so awesome, he saved Feyre. But did he? Saving Feyre would have been letting her, protecting her, yes, but going about her life how she chooses, not forcing her to do activities that she might necessarily want to take part in. Like, maybe she wanted to read or write. I genuinely can't remember, but when he was teaching her, he made it a sexual kind of thing, and I think that's gross, in my opinion. I just think that the idea that a lot of these books portray isn't necessarily correct. Cashin, Rishon under the mountain or whatever, just to piss off Amaranth, essentially drugged Feyre, and I think that's really fucked up. You can't just give people drugs and get on with life because, I mean, whatevs, it's not that big of a deal. That's how it came across. It is. It's such a detrimental issue because you don't know, people might read it too literally, like I'm doing right now, and genuinely take it to heart and think that that kind of behavior is okay when it's not. It's crazy. Um, I just don't understand the whole idea of personally forgiving your abusers. And obviously, that's kind of the thing it ends with us really set off in me is just this forgiveness of poorly behaved men. We shouldn't tolerate this behavior. We shouldn't forgive our abusers. We should not forgive our abusers and keep them in our lives because, well, XYZ, it's so much easier said than done. I know that for a fact, but it's still not something that books should illustrate as much as they do. I just don't think it's good for younger readers. I mean, when I was younger, took boogie board books a lot more seriously and to heart than I should have. I thought Rishon was great. I thought he was protecting her. And I was like, I could do me a man like that, or a woman like that, and I'm better off without. It's wrong. Books are so morally grey nowadays, I miss the good old what the fuck? I miss the good old days of books where it was just here's a cute story of a kid telling her shitty parents that they suck and getting to move in with people who truly make them happy. Like, I don't know, kind of Matilda-y, Harry Potter-y, because that gave a portrayal of what you shouldn't be treated like. And if we can do it with parents or aunts and uncles, why are we unable to do it with significant others? And I don't know, I just think it's so obscure that when literature was uncool. The moral of the story was where it kind of needed to be, which is you are capable of anything and all that jazz, and what you shouldn't be treated like, what you should be treated like. Um, and obviously, perhaps younger fantasy aimed at younger people are made to push that thing, and a lot of um, authors are going to state that the works they publish aren't for younger readers. But nobody cares. No one looks past, or no one acknowledges the age rating on things. I mean, had I known that I should have been 18 when I was reading Akatar, I didn't care. I did know, and I read it. And was I too young to fully grasp the entirety of it? Most certainly. Am I willing to put myself through reading it again? Certainly not, because I'm not going to spoil, for fuck's sakes, those memories I had of when I enjoyed the book and go into over psychoanalysis. Oh, okay. Of these books like I am now. I don't want to do that to my fond memories of them. That just doesn't seem reasonable, and I don't want to end up hating the protagonists and side characters more than what I already do, because as much as I love to hate characters and shit on them, like Feyre, she sucked as a protagonist. I said that then. I will say it now. She has no personality. She is just a baseless character. There's nothing to her other than I'm in love with a dude and and now I am immortal and I paint and stuff and can't read. It's so dry to me. It's so tasteless. It's just that. Oh my, I'm gonna eat a chair. It's so just boring to me, you know? I would like to read characters that actually develop, like Rebel of the Sands that by Alwyn Hamilton it's for younger readers, but it's still incredible. You watch actual character progression and the time jumps are explained well, and you watch someone go through this kind of identity crisis and only able to acknowledge what she truly is or who she could potentially be in moments of danger. And that's awesome because she still can't fully grasp it, and people are not prepared to kind of put everyone else at risk so that she can figure herself out. Whereas in Akatar, it's you are powerful now, you will be of use. From what I remember, I could be very wrong. I read Akatar before it was trendy and watched it, reviews of it, once I fell in love with it, just so I could make myself hate it. Because it also puts you into a reading slump. This isn't to say all these writers are bad. It's just to say that booktok has put the entire literature state into absolute, like the absolute works, because it's not really, I feel like, about the story anymore. It's kind of about who can publish the best smut, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with enjoying smut. However, I do draw the line when the smut is with an abusive bastard. In the love hypothesis, um, the main guy, I don't remember his name, something, the main dude. I could grab the book and read the name, but that's a big stretch for me. Um, he was okay. He had his moments, and, he was clearly in his head. I'm gonna call him, I should probably get his name, and then my opinion will be more reliable for this. What is his name? Adam. Adam Carlson. Adam Carlson. He, as far as I can tell, is an okay guy, except when it came to that smut scene, and I understood that sex is weird. He's weird. I mean, no shaming. I'm not shaming, but I don't know, if a person ever spoke to me like that in bed, I think I'd leave. I think I would stop the actions right there. And also, the bonus chapters of the Love Hypothesis also kind of killed it for me. I was expecting to get into this wholesome, nerdy, little rom com type thing, and obviously it's book talk. I was severely wrong, but it still just kind of puts me off books now. I would like to read something with a bit more base than they're gonna fuck. You know? And surely I can't be the only one. I mean, there's thousands of reviews online, and this is no different to any other. It's just I have no annotations and I'm going purely off memory, making this perhaps the most chaotic thing anyone will ever listen to, should anyone ever listen to this. And it's just, I want to read a good book without smut. Correction, a good book talk book without smut. And the greatest exception I have to book talk books and deserves all the all the love is You've Reached Sam. It's so has so much heart and so much passion and drive to it that I couldn't put it down personally. Were there flaws in the book? Yes, there's flaws in every book, but I took it for what it was. It cured my reading slump and it truly made me feel like I was so emotionally connected to these characters with, you know, her reminiscing about times that they were together and just the moments leading, oh my god, up to the final chapters, and it was fucking gut wrenching. It was crazy. Um, I just loved it. I loved it. It ends with us. I've already hated on Ryle enough. I didn't like Atlas. Come at me. I despised Atlas. Um, it just he also just appeared and did stuff, and the stuff he did, was it good? Yes. Was it kind of irrelevant to me at times? Yeah, it felt pretty fucking irrelevant because I did not care for him as a character. All I got in comparison to You've Reached Sam's, where the stories are more personal, you get this is what, Atlas used to be like. I wonder if he's still like that. Whereas I think You've Reached Sam. Sam's dead. So so the reminiscing of stories of what he used to be like are more kind of heartfelt. And it wasn't even stories that was going on about um Atlas, because they were just letters to Ellen DeGeneres, who in this modern age mentions Ellen DeGeneres in their books. Like, obviously she was young, but like you could have picked anyone else. Like, I would have taken Gordon Ramsay over Ellen DeGeneres, but we had to have the just keep swimming thing, which to me it was so lame. That whole just keep swimming bit, I don't know, sucked. I hated it. It was so lame. I could not give less of a shit. Maybe it's close to Colleen Hoover's heart. Apparently she's been through some stuff, and that sucks to hear. I'm sorry, Colleen Hoover, but that does not mean I have to like her books. I do not have to like her books in the slightest. It's, I mean, it's all opinion. You're allowed to have your favorite author, but just like that, I'm also allowed to shit on your favorite author. Um, Her writing style, I didn't mind. Her book, I minded. As with most things, I just something about it ends with us put me through the works. I hated it. I hated every little bit of it. Just because of the very existence of everyone in that book. Lily Bloom owns a fucking flower shop. How original. They also say the name of the book in the book. I mean, it's so quirky. It's a concept that I've never personally seen before. Obviously, I like the reasoning behind the name, but if it truly ended with you don't you think you would have completely nullified his existence in your life? You know, because that's a big thing with, I personally think, abusers is you might have broken up with him and ended the cycle, but they remain in your life. They still have that control, and you've, I don't think you should forgive your abusers. That's my opinion, and keeping him in her life just makes every little inch of progress she's gone through to remove him from it null and void. And that's just a thing. That's like I said, it's solely opinion based. I just think the progression of booktok books is progressively is slowly killing literature. I miss when reading was for nerds. Is that selfish? Yes, absolutely. It's fucking meant to be. It's meant to be selfish. I remember reading The Hunger Games sitting in the back of class, and everyone would be like, Hannah, you're a weird little nerd. Bullying you. And I was down for that. But now, okay, I don't hate having new people reading. Don't get what I'm saying here wrong. I just hate the direction literature is taking at this very moment in time. I mean, could I happily sit through Pride and Prejudice without it being for school? No. But there was that stable point in time with, I want to say, the dystopian era, even though Divergent, from what I know, sucks. But just kind of that dystopian times where things were calm. There was romance, but I didn't have to read straight porn, I guess. That's that's it really. Um Fix literature. That is my request. I'm tired of it being a competition over who can write the horniest characters and the most abusive men and get away with it. It's just not very cool, in my opinion, and I'm stating this very heavily. Um, because it is my opinion. So hate on me all you like. That is quite literally all I have to say about the current state of book talk and literature. So if you ever hear this, thank you for listening to this. Or alternatively, I'm sorry, but thank you. Cheerio.